Pain management. Welcome to Spectrum Psychological. My name is Alexander. I'm a psychologist by training, and our topic for today is pain management. So that's a pretty big topic. If we wanted to, we could spend the entire day talking about pain management. In fact, we could spend an entire weekend and not hit the bottom of this topic. But in the interest of avoiding overwhelming you, I'm going to focus on 3 key points for today. So if you've been struggling with pain, obviously it is not pleasant and you would like to get rid of it if you could, but you're not able to do it, and that is because not everything is in your control. So the question is, what do you do? Well, hopefully you don't do what many of my patients do, which is make a bad situation worse. How? Well, one way of making a bad situation worse is by adding anger and resentment to the picture. Being in pain is bad, but being in pain, angry, and venting is worse. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't have good reason to be angry. Maybe the reason you got injured, maybe the reason you got hurt was not your fault. Somebody else is responsible for it. Or perhaps you made a silly mistake as a result of which you are now suffering. That may all be true, but being angry and walking around fuming all the time, just ready to blow up, is not going to help your situation at all. It's going to make it worse. So, point number 1 from the pain management standpoint is you want to dial down your anger and your resentment and your frustration. You want to dial that down because really it doesn't help the situation any, and the only people who suffer really are you and perhaps your family members, the ones who have to live with you, the ones who care about you, the ones who you care about. So they are the ones who are likely to pick up the brunt of your anger and your frustration and so on. But if you dial it down a little bit, it really helps you to cope with the pain a lot better. Not only will it help you, it will also help your family members. So here's point number 2 from the pain management standpoint. Stop trying to push through your pain, right? So maybe you were able to get your house cleaned out that has been a mess for a period of time. Okay, fine, you managed to accomplish that. But did you pay for it later? You probably did. And if you did, that doesn't make the situation better. Now, if you were lucky, you got away with perhaps just triggering a flare-up in pain. But if not, and you triggered a setback, well, what that means is that your recovery has taken a setback and you are going to be starting from 2 rungs down again. That isn't going to help the picture at all. That is making the situation worse. So if you want to help yourself through this process, you want to progress your recovery and not continue triggering repeated setbacks for yourself, what you want to do is avoid trying to push through pain all the time. Avoid doing that. So here's point number 3. Many people, when they are in pain, they either walk around all irritated and frustrated and blowing up every now and then, right? We talked about that earlier. They do that, or what they do is they go completely silent. So part of the reason they go silent is that they're trying to protect their family members. They don't want to burden them with what's going on with them. But the trouble is that your family members can tell when you're not doing okay. And so if you go silent and they can tell that something is off with you, in the absence of any real information, they'll fill in the blanks themselves. And very often they can end up assuming that, well, they did something wrong. And, they are the cause why you're upset, or you're not, you're not being normal. Okay, so they can tell. Now, one of the things that should happen with pain when a person is struggling through an injury is that communication should actually go up. It shouldn't go down. Very frequently, it does go down because the person, in his mind or her mind, is trying to protect their family members. but it's worthwhile actually increasing the communication, just sharing with your family members casually what's going on with them. You don't have to make a big deal about that, but just letting them know, just sort of cueing them in about where you're at. Hey, I'm my pain level's a little high. I think I'm gonna just pull back a little bit for about half an hour, and then I'll be back and I'll lend a hand. That really helps them out a lot, because it sort of helps them orient themselves and pivot, and they're also not walking around assuming that maybe they did something wrong to upset you. So it can be very, very helpful. So communication, point number 3 for today: communication should go up and not down, and not the wrong kind of communication, the right kind of communication, appropriate, where you actually are talking to them and not exploding or not going on the silent mode, but they can read it in your body non-verbally that things are not okay. So let's review. Uh, 1, dial down the anger and the frustration and the resentment. 2, avoid pushing through pain unnecessarily to avoid triggering a setback. And 3, improve communication, raise communication, not pull it back, not reduce it, not go into a silent mode. And remember, when you are improving communication, right, age appropriate disclosure. So you don't tell everybody in the family member the same thing. Little kids, very small kids, they probably should not know too much about what's going on with you, because their ability to process that information, being as young as they are, is limited as compared to an adult. So I hope this video has been of some help to you. Please feel free to share this video with anybody you think might be able to benefit from it. And if you found the content helpful, and you can give it a thumbs up, that would be great. Good luck and take care.